So right now I'm in Central Park in Fremont, and it doesn't even feel like I'm in a city right now. I feel like I'm just in the middle of a big field, and you know, the mountains back here, it feels like I'm in farmland or something. And that's really the feel that you have when you're in Fremont. It's not super dense. There's a lot of natural areas, a lot of beautiful homes, a lot of open space. So I think in America, definitely in California, feel like you're close to nature and there's a lot of open space to walk around. You don't feel like you're cramped in. People have bigger yards. There's a lot of sunshine. It's a little warmer than some other areas of the East Bay, like Berkeley, Oakland. It can get a little foggy in those areas, but in Fremont, it's typically a little warmer because you're kind of like shielded by the peninsula. So you're not getting direct wind and cold air coming from the ocean. You're getting a little bit of cool air off of the bay, but it's really not as cool as the air that's coming through under the Golden Gate Bridge and cooling off a lot of cities in the East Bay. Let me show you this view right here. Woo! So this is Central Park. Right next to the park is the Fremont Police Department and a lot of city buildings and stuff. And it's crazy because it just doesn't feel like a downtown area. It's just a big lake and a big park next to it. I'm here at Quarry Lakes Park right now. It's a bit of a hot day. It's like 81, 82 degrees. There are a ton of picnic spots around this lake. Quite a few picnic benches, barbecue areas. So it's a perfect place to gather with the family over the weekend. And of course, we have the beautiful Quarry Lakes over there, and there's just miles and miles of paved trails. You know, you could take your bike out, take the family out for a walk, even a hike. Actually, I think it would take quite a while to walk around all of these lakes. It'd probably take actually a few hours. And another thing is you have lots of trees and Fremont Hills over there. So you're just surrounded by nature on all sides. It's a really beautiful park. Hello everyone, this is Weston Means, Bay Area Realtor. Today we are going to be talking about the city of Fremont, considered a suburb of some of the major cities like San Jose, San Francisco, Oakland, but it is nestled right between closest major city up here is Hayward, and then the closest major city down here is San Jose. There are a couple other smaller cities in between. There's actually Union City, which is right next to Fremont, and then there's Milpitas here on the other end of Fremont to the south. And then there's a small town of Sunol, which is non-residential, kind of like just untouched land, but that's between Fremont and Pleasanton. But Fremont was recently named the happiest city in the United States, actually. And this was from a study by Wallet Hub. And they said one of the biggest contributing factors was that money, in fact, does bring happiness up to a point, but the threshold is pretty much around 75K a year. And the residents of Fremont, I think over 80% of them make more than 75K. And that's not the only reason. It's also a city that's surrounded by a lot of natural beauty. You know, you have Coyote Hills Regional Park, which is a really nice, here's some photos of it. Lots of trails, just a ton of natural beauty. And you've got another regional park here, Dry Creek Pioneer Regional Park, Mission Peak Regional Preserve. The Mission Peak Trail that a lot of people post on social media in the Bay Area is over here. Here's a trailhead, so you can go up to the peak. A lot of folks take photos right at the top, and it's kind of like this untouched hill, untouched reserve, and there's this post at the top where people take photos. But as you go up the trail, there's like a lot of cows and stuff. Feel like you're going back in time a little bit. There was a lot of livestock, and most people were ranchers and stuff like that, so it's kind of cool. But the city of Fremont itself is actually quite diverse. So about 229,000 people, 78.2% are citizens, 48.7% residents were born outside the country. In 2022, there were 3.41 times more Asian residents in Fremont than any other race or ethnicity. A little more than 41,000 white residents and about 141,000 Asian residents, a little more than 14,000 Hispanic residents. So it's actually quite diverse, and you can see it when you drive around Fremont because there are a lot of different restaurants. There's a lot of like boba spots, Indian food, Asian food, all kinds of different things. It really has the whole gamut of what the Bay Area has to offer. And I mean, the fact that it's just everything feels very spread out. The homes there, they seem to be on more land than a lot of the surrounding areas. Like even in Hayward, the homes seem to be a lot closer together. In Fremont, the homes seem to be spread out more. There's bigger yards. As you drive through Fremont, you get views of the mountains over here. There's a lot of different parks, a lot of different open space, and it just doesn't feel as developed as somewhere like, you know, Hayward and especially San Jose. To some extent, you feel like in nature, and like when you go to downtown, even downtown, there's big wide open plots of land. There's a really big lake right downtown. See, this is Central Park. You know, there's this big lake. The city provides a bunch of sports complexes and all kinds of different things. So it seems like the city is really providing a lot for the residents there, which I think contributes to the level of happiness as well. This all to say that Fremont is in fact one of the more expensive areas to move into in the Bay Area, and that's for good reason. And it is a beautiful area. So let's take a look at some of the homes that are available. So Fremont is located in Alameda County. It's actually not located in Santa Clara County. Santa Clara County is Alameda County, includes Oakland, Berkeley, and all the way, you know, Hayward, Fremont. Alameda County seems to have more of a diverse range of different price points within the Bay Area. Santa Clara County is pretty much down here, and the average price point for a 3-bed, 2-bath home, at least more than 1.3, 1.4. In a lot of cases, you're going up to 1.7, 1.8, and 2 million plus. Actually, a lot of the homes in this area are over 2 million, whereas in Fremont, you're looking more at somewhat of a reasonable price range, and I can show you here. So we're looking at 1.8, 1.6. Here's one for 1.1. And something you need to remember in the Bay Area is that the list price doesn't always equal the sale price or the intended sale price. A lot of times listings will be listed significantly lower to get a lot more attention. And the hope is to get multiple buyers that are competing against each other. The goal is to sell the properties in line with what the comparables are selling for. And so even if this is priced at 1.1, the intended selling price might not be that low. But I mean, this is a very nice home. 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,556 square feet. You can see here's another one for 1.2, 1,150 square feet, 3-bed, 2-bath, built in 1958. So this one needs a little more cosmetic work. But these are the type of properties where you can typically get a better deal because you'll have to put in some sweat equity to bring it up to a move-in ready state, which is what we say in real estate. This one's 1.3. This one is pretty much move-in ready, but it's what we call a light cosmetic fixer. It looks like the kitchen was probably last updated in maybe the late 90s or early 2000s. The appliances are probably around the early 2000s. Let's take a look at some of the higher priced ones. So this one is 15 days on the market. Nice landscaping. And you can see, you know, there you got mountain views. This is just everyday life for folks out there. This one has more of an updated kitchen with the quartz countertops. You've got outlets next to, these are GFCI protected as well, so they look pretty modern. This one is not GFCI protected, so that's a little outdated in terms of the electrical. Looks like they refinished the floor of the garage. So this one actually doesn't look that much different from some of the ones that we saw priced at 1.1, and this may be a case of them just listing a lot closer to what they actually want to sell it for instead of trying to generate a bidding war. Let's take a look at another one here. So this one is 8 days on the market. So everything is pretty much 15 days or lower in terms of how many days it's been on the market. Things tend to move pretty fast in Fremont because it's such a desirable place to live. Recent years we haven't had a whole lot of inventory, so the level of demand per listing has been somewhat high. But as rates stay elevated for a lot longer, I think demand is going to come down and supply is going to stay about the same, maybe even rise over time. So the competition per listing have been going down this year in 2024. Anyway, so that's what some of the homes look like. Filmed some B-roll for you so you can see what it's like to drive through the neighborhood, what the homes look like. A lot of the homes were built back in the 50s all the way through 60s, 70s. A lot of them were built in the 70s as well. But there is still new construction in Fremont. So, you know, you will see some new construction homes, but a lot of them were built between the 50s and 70s. Now, another great thing about Fremont is that it has pretty easy access to Silicon Valley. Here's Palo Alto right here, Stanford. So, you know, you just hop on the 84 and go right across into Palo Alto and you're right there. You also have access to San Jose. You take the 880 down here and there's a ton of stuff to do down here. Fremont itself doesn't have that robust of a downtown area. It's more of a suburb, but you know, people like it for that reason. It's a little more laid back, a little more relaxed. It's not really, you don't get the hustle and bustle of the city, but you are close enough to a city to go down and experience that if you want to. And then over on this side, there's a lot of hiking and stuff to do. And then, you know, you have Hayward over here. That easy access, being close enough to Silicon Valley, but far enough away where you don't feel like you're in the hustle and bustle of Silicon Valley, but you're close enough to get to it when you need to. That's one of the big advantages of living in Fremont. So I hope this video gave you a better overview of what the city of Fremont has to offer. It is in a very central location here in the Bay Area, right to the southeast of the Bay itself. Very easy access to Silicon Valley, lots of beautiful nature to the east, and named as the happiest city in the United States. So there's definitely a lot to see there, a lot to experience, and lots of beautiful homes over there in Fremont. So if you have any other questions about Fremont itself or any of the surrounding areas in the Bay Area, as always, feel free to reach out to me. I'm going to put my contact info below, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.